Hey CrossFit Rima, back again for week 7 of some mobility. We had a little bit of a skip last week, but we're back on it for week 7. So, just like always, starting with down with the hips. So, our first movement today is a little bit difficult, a little bit hard. So we'll start here in a long lunge position. The front shin is vertical, the back leg is extended as far back as we can get it, making sure we stay vertical in that front shin. I don't want this position where that ankle, where the knee is way out, where the ankle is way out in front of the knee. Make sure we stay stacked, and then we will extend back, keeping that back toe tucked. So from this position here, what I want to see you do, you have two different options. We'll start with the easier one, that's going to be hands down. And then we will extend through that back knee, getting that hip back into some extension, extending, trying to lock out that back knee, trying to push the heel to the ground, and then we'll come down and try to back up a little bit more, extend through. Let's say that's easy. We'll come tall. Hands go on the knees, shoulders stack over the hips, and we'll do the same thing from here, trying to extend through that back knee, getting that hip into as much extension as we can, driving that heel down to the ground. We will do 10 reps, holding for 5 seconds. After that, we'll drop that knee back. We'll reach up and back, driving the hips forward, driving the lower back forward, getting that back into extension as we reach back into flexion with the arms and extension with the neck. Holding for 5 to 10 seconds, coming back up, and we will do 5 to 10 of those. Focusing here more on that hip extension, but also that back extension as well. So there's two different movements here. Long lunge pulse, and then long lunge reach. We would do both sides, about 10 reps on each side, holding for about 5 seconds in each of those positions. That is your hip movement for the week. So moving down to our spine. We've done this position before. We're going to get into a half frog. So the last time we were here, we did half frog, good morning, driving the hip back, feeling that adductor. Today we're going to move that position around, toe comes up, hand goes to the other side. Maybe this is our stretch. We should feel the hip, but we're really trying to get into that hamstring. So from here, we're gonna walk the foot out, and then we will take the nose down towards that knee. Feeling that left hamstring will come up. We'll call this a half frog pulse. We will reach down for 5 seconds. We will do that 10 times on each side. I will show you from a different angle so we can see what's happening. So if you look at me from here, we're gonna make sure that the back foot is on the inside. This is that frog position. We're on the inside of that back foot, getting that hip into as much internal rotation as we can. So again, I'll show you one more time from this side. A half frog hamstring pulse. So toe comes up, hands come down if we can get there. We reach out as far as we can with the heel, and then we take the nose towards that knee, stretching out our hamstring, pulsing for 5 seconds, coming up tall, doing that 10 times. Again, maybe this is our position. That's all we can get to because we have enough tension of the hamstring and the hip here, and we'll just hold here for 10 to 15 seconds. We would do that 10 times. So half frog hamstring pulse for our third movement, or our second movement. Our third movement, moving up to the shoulders. We have done this exact movement before, but I like it, so we do it a lot. We will come down into our open book position. So we'll start on the side. I like to start here, and then we will open up all the way through, keeping the knees down, keeping the opposite shoulder blade on the ground, and then we will make circles. I'll show you in a different position in a second, with this back arm, trying to get as much spinal rotation and also shoulder rotation as possible. Coming all the way up, and then all the way back down. I'll show you from a rear position so you can kind of see what's happening with my shoulder. So again, open book position. We come all the way across, the shoulder blade stays on the ground. We start with that arm above the head into flexion, palm stays up the entire time. That keeps the shoulder externally rotated. We come all the way around slow, keeping the hand as close to the ground as possible, keeping the knees together, so if we need to hold down, we can. All the way around to as much rotation as we can, all the way back to the top. Again, palm always facing the ceiling, and then back up tall. That movement helps our shoulder rotate all the way around. It keeps it externally rotated, but it also stretches out the anterior portion of that shoulder. So there is your week 7 mobility.